The key clicks in the ignition, and I groan. Come on! At least yesterday's clicking gave way to a more hopeful stuttering. This morning, there is no such stuttering, which is just brilliant on the day I'm supposed to be having my first personal development review of the new job. The new job. Dad says I suffer from a 10-week itch on the job front. I haven't braved telling him that I'm already itching at the end of week 4 because I know he'll tell Mum, who will wheel out the reliability and commitments lecture again. You need to stick at these things for longer, Beth. Prove yourself a bit. The radio springs to life with a local travel update. A spot of slow-moving traffic on the A39 between Kilcampton and Stratton following an earlier breakdown of a livestock container. I roll my eyes. People in my village are always remarking how lucky we are to live in this part of the world, and how dreadful the daily commute in a big city would be. But at least in a big city, I wouldn't have to stop for farm animals. I get it. The underground on a hot day smells like armpits and socks, but muck spreading season in North Cornwall isn't exactly a treat for the senses either. I try the key again. Click, click, click. Nothing. There's a bottle of water in my bag, and I unscrew the cap and glug all of it, cursing myself for not rehydrating before I got into bed. My sister swears by drinking a pint of water as soon as she gets in from a night out, though, as I have to keep reminding her, a meal with her husband and another couple talking about sleep training and primary school applications does not a night out make. She's big on mantras, our Emmy, and do your future self a favour is her latest. I have mocked her relentlessly for this, of course, but secretly, I think she's onto something. I can only imagine that future Emmy is permanently delighted with past Emmy's forward planning. Future Beth, on the other hand, feels perpetually let down by past Beth, who brings nothing but a world of good idea at the time regret to the table. I imagine that's what's going to end up on my headstone. Here lies Beth, beloved daughter, sister, auntie and friend, full of good ideas at the time. The 5th glass of wine was a mistake. I think about messaging Jory to tell him about my car woes and find out if he has a hangover, but he'll already have started his day of teaching by now. He's not a fun best friend during the workday and rarely engages with my bored in the office WhatsApp advances. I raised this with him as a grievance once, but he just laughed and said, "But I'm working. You'll understand one day when you grow up." I rest my forehead on the steering wheel and weigh up what to do. Mum and Dad aren't home, so I can't ask them for a lift or plead to borrow their car again until I get mine sorted, or until Dad gets it sorted. I'm trying not to think about how much I still owe him for the last garage bill. They left for grandchildren babysitting duties before I was even awake, which means my sister isn't around to rescue me either. Emmy would obviously have done her future self a favour and not bought a rusty, decade-old Vauxhall Astra with patchy service history to start with. You know what they say, Beth. You buy cheap, you buy twice. As I keep telling her, I buy cheap because I'm skint. She's right, though, as usual. I should invest in a more reliable car, but I'm supposed to be saving up to move out, or move away, or just do something that isn't live with my parents, which, since turning 30 last year, has become a rather tragic state of affairs. It never seemed quite so bad when I was still in my 20s, but waking up in the room I grew up in on my 30th birthday was not a proud moment. I went out and bought a Swiss cheese plant and a mustard velvet armchair to try to make my childhood bedroom feel more sophisticated. But when Jory helped me redecorate, we forgot to freshen up the ceiling, and now when I'm lying in bed, I can still see the old blue tack marks where I stuck a picture of Jaye from 5. Jaye nearly gave me a heart attack a couple of times when he fell down from the ceiling onto my face in the night, but I always stuck him back up, and he stayed there for years, looking down at me with his edgy eyebrow piercing. A quick Google tells me Jason Paul J. Brown is now 42. Even Bradley from S Club 7 is nearly 40. I need to move out. A cheery local radio presenter announces the time between songs, reminding me that I am now running very late. The only feasible option I have left is to walk. It would show willing, perhaps even impress my new boss. Beth's car broke down, but she still made it in. Way to go, Beth. The trouble is, I've been sitting here for almost half an hour now, and another idea has been percolating. I could just not go. Bend the truth a little. Replace car problems with under the weather. It's not an ideal solution, I know. But if I go with honesty, my boss might drive over to get me, and I can't face Malcolm on a hangover. It's bad enough sitting opposite him all day doing the donkey work for his finance deals.